If you do go on to enjoy today's video, please consider hitting the like button. It really does help the video out, even if I don't deserve it because I'm terrible at video games. And if you want to follow me on Twitter for absolutely no reason, the link for that is down below. And if you do need any coins, head over to u7buystore.com. Use the code TVM at checkout for a discount. The link is in the description. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to the FM22 Brentford save. We are building Brentford, and my God, we are doing it well. We have the best defence in the league. We came through the month of December expecting to get around 6 to 9 points with almost so very nearly maximum points. And of course, we beat Inter to top the group. The first knockout stage of the Europa League, for some reason I wasn't aware of this. But after I looked at it, I was like, oh yeah, of course. I didn't even think. I don't know why. But we don't play in the first knockout stage. The teams that come out of the Champions League, as it was pointed out to me, will then play the teams who finish second. So we would have had to play Hoffenheim, which isn't actually that bad. I think Inter have got away with one, to be honest. Yeah, so we would have had to play Hoffenheim had we finished second in the group. Inter have I think it's a two-legged affair against Hoffenheim. And then our match gets drawn a lot later. I think it might even be the 1st of March. We've got to wait until the draw. The game isn't played until the 14th of March. So yeah, the 1st of March, we've got to wait to find out who we have in the second round of the knockout stage of the Europa League. But look at the state of these results. We have been playing some sublime football, and I am changing the system constantly as well. Sometimes we play with wingers, sometimes we play with a central attacking midfield player, sometimes we've got a DM in there. We have been very chop and change, and I'm doing it to suit the opponent that we're playing, which is something that I've done a lot in the past, but never really to the level that I'm doing it now, and it's never worked as well as it's worked now. I will take great pleasure for the rest of my life, and I don't mean my FM life, I mean my life in general, from this month. If we hadn't conceded against Liverpool, honestly, it probably would have been the best month of my FM career, because that is an insane run of results against some very strong sides. Man City 2-0, Inter 1-0. You saw that last episode. Very frustrated not to get the win against Spurs. We just weren't good enough. And then Newcastle, we were actually quite fortunate to get the win, but we still got it. They got their left-back sent off in the 77th minute. We weren't really creating anything. I then switched out Talisman Magno to the right-hand side and forced the play down the right because they didn't have a left-back. And it worked. We managed to get a goal from an Mbabu cross from the right-hand side into Firmino's feet, and he just slotted it home. Very, very good game there, to be honest. And then the game against Liverpool, they scored a penalty. The only goal we conceded in December was a set piece, and we beat them 2-1. I'm not taking massive satisfaction in that win because they didn't have the best team out there. There was a massive fatigue issue with their side and our side, incidentally. And then, of course, we beat West Ham 3-0. And then 1-1 against Crystal Palace. We were quite fortunate to come away with a win. We went 1-0 up in the 18th minute. I got really excited. Then Edouard turned it around. And then we were kind of on the back foot. We didn't really look like scoring a second. I did start throwing things forward and trying to get it, but it just didn't work. Today, very interesting set of games. We play Chelsea in the FA Cup. Can we finally progress to the next round of the FA Cup for, I think, only the first ever time? Well, then again, no, I think we did quite well in the first season in the FA Cup. It was the Carabao that we didn't do very well in. Anyway, Leicester. The only team that has beat us in the Premier League this season is Leicester. We will play them in our second game. A quick look at the table will show you just how good we've been. In fact, let me go to stages and you can see just how good our defence has been. So we've conceded 10 goals all season. We conceded 2 against Leicester, Everton and Crystal Palace. Those were over 2 games, the Crystal Palace goals. And we've only conceded 1 then to Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal and Manchester United, as you would expect. We've beaten everyone else, or got a point against them, without conceding. We have a game in hand. If we win it, we go on 48 points, level with Arsenal, below them on goal difference, unfortunately, because not scoring as many as we are, like not conceding, if that makes sense. The other thing I wanted to point out was our transfers. Christopher Ayer was subject to bid, as was Bastoni. I didn't even try and negotiate them, I just rejected them outright. But I had to convince Ayer that he was... I tried to convince him that he was used at the club and I didn't want to get rid of him. wasn't really having any of it. And I said, look, if they come back in with a bid of 30 million, you can go. And he was like, yeah, okay, that seems fair. No one's ever going to bid 30 million for Aya. We're safe. He doesn't have to go anywhere. Bastoni was happy to stay, so there we are. Matteo Pessina, 2 offers for him. I've accepted both of them. We were midway through the Crystal Palace game. He was played through on goal, and he missed a sitter. And I've mentioned it before, he does it a lot. He breaks through the middle constantly. So good at doing it. And he doesn't know what to do when he gets there. And it was the final time. He'd done it about 6 times this season. Last time. So I've put him on the transfer list. He's gone. Hopefully we can get what we've paid for him back. Ignacio Diaz obviously will come to us at some point. But if we go to our transfer history, we have made a sign-in or 2. We have brought in, on the wrong season, we have brought in Tim Krul and James Milner. So Tim Krul didn't really want to sign anyone, if I'm honest, but James Milner was on a free transfer. He didn't want a lot of money, and it's a 6-month contract because he's retiring at the end of the season. I thought, do you know what? Let's get him in. He's not particularly very good. His legs are completely gone. He is 38, to be fair. I want him as an emergency backup. The work rate, the teamwork, the determination, that bravery. I want him in there just in case I need him. I am more than happy to take a punt on him for 6 months just in case I need someone who can come in and just hold it all together, which is exactly what James Milner's good at doing. The other signing, of course, was Tim Krul. Is he good enough to play? No. Again, this is only a 6-month loan. We're only paying his wages. We're not giving them anything else. He's, again, retiring in the summer as well. But the reason I needed him, I didn't want him, I needed him, was because our goalkeeper, who I've sent down to the under-23s, Gunnarsson, who's been at the club for like 5 years, has failed to secure a work permit this season. So I didn't have a backup keeper, so I just needed someone. The game against Chelsea is upon us. We are about to go into it. In fact, it's right now. I'm late, if I'm honest. I should be getting going. Chelsea means that Jorginho is ineligible. We've got some fitness issues with Barisic. You can't see this. I'm just letting you know. Barisic, Adidokan, rather. He never plays anyway. Onuachu's still coming back from injury. Stanisic is still injured. And Barbu is suspended. Apart from that, full strength. So I've gone defensive for this one. Dest is going to play. Maitland-Niles has come to me, actually, and said that he needs more first-team football because he's not happy with his current role within the club. I was going to play him today instead of Dest. Unfortunately, he isn't fit. I mean, he could probably play, but he's tired after the last match because guess what? He played. Frustrating times. Maksimovic and Pessina are going to play in the middle together for the first time this season. Is that a good idea? Let's be honest, probably not. I'll tell you what I could do. Could play Aya in the middle, as a DM rather, and then play Declan Rice a little bit further forward, but not going to. Going to stick with it the way that it is. And here we go. The Chelsea team. Chiesa, Lukaku, Havertz, Anguissa, not familiar with him. Mason Mount, Chilwell, James, Rudiger, Christensen is still there. Zabania, not sure who he is either, and then of course Edouard Mendy in goal. Gravenberch on the bench, big fan of him. Ampadu back at Chelsea now, and Twanzebe, formerly of Manchester United, now apparently of the Chelsea bench. I've played to shut Chelsea out, and then I'm going to try and hit them in the second half if we manage to not concede in the first 2 minutes. We have not conceded all of December from open play. Chelsea have just scored against us inside of 2 minutes, or inside of 3 minutes. So the plan already out the window. Let me encourage the team. Mason Mount's shot was blocked. Lukaku, with a little bit of experience there, gives it back to Mason Mount to have another go. And he has scored to make it 1-0. This is a bit of ping-pong, isn't it? Havertz over the top. Godfrey back to the keeper for the 3rd time in this highlight, I think. Firmino nods it on. Adeyemi is there. Can he finish? No. Adeyemi's got some of the best finish in the league, and he fluffs so many chances. And same with Firmino, actually, as well. Firmino is one of the most frustrating strikers I've ever seen, because I know he's capable of scoring everything. What can we do with regards to changing this? I mean, I might do this just now. Why not? Let's go for it. So, put him back into a box-to-box, get him as a playmaker, move him into that defending central midfield role. kind of works. That's without changing anything. I'm not a fan of Pessina in that role, to be honest. Might take him off and bring Thales Magno on, because Thales Magno, as a central attacking midfield player, I don't know how and why, because he's primarily a striker, but it just seems to work, so we'll just run with it. Let's hope that that change is positive enough to trigger something. Firmino down the left plays a very strange ball out to Dest. I mean, let's be honest, it didn't even reach the penalty. It just went over the penalty area. Rice with a good ball into Firmino, and he's missed a sitter. Was he offside? I think so. Irrelevant, though, because you need to be finishing those. He had an open goal, near post. He could have taken a touch. He could have headed it. He could have done anything, but he decided against it. Let's encourage, because we are losing. We need something to happen. I think it might be time for a very big shift here. So Magno out to the right. Inside forward attack. Which one is playing the better of Firmino and Adeyemi? Firmino playing the best. Let's trust in Firmino. Can Thales Magno play right side? He can. All right, I'll tell you what then. I was going to bring Rafinha on, but I don't know if there's any point. I really do like Adeyemi. Screw it. Let's just bring Rafinha on. Let's bring him on. We'll play him right side, and we'll bring Thales Magno and play him on the left. Normally I play them the other way around. We'll play them this time around this way. And is there any... I wanted to give Maitland-Niles some minutes, but in all honesty, I don't think that's going to be a change that's going to give us the win. Let's go positive. Let's focus play down the flanks as well. Maybe engage slightly higher. Just put a little bit more pressure on, just make him think a little bit more. And for now, because it's only 65 minutes, we've got time. Not a lot of it, but we do have a little bit of time. Let's try and squeeze something out of this. The possession has gone up, but nothing else has. We're not creating anything. Okay, it's time to throw the kitchen sink at Chelsea. Patagna on for Godfrey. And we are going to go with that many strikers. Not a tactic I've used this season, if I'm honest, but needs must. As, what's that saying? The devil drives? Something like that. Do we... maybe inside forward isn't the way. Let's go an advanced playmaker for Rafinha. And let's put... don't know. Let's leave him on inside forward. Playmaker to try and get things moving from Rafinha. Should we maybe move Rafinha in the middle and just focus everything we have down that left-hand side and try and do you know what? It's a weird tactic, but it's a tactic that has worked for me in the past. So rather than try and spread ourselves across both sides, we're going to focus down that left. We're going to up the tempo a little bit. We're going to play Rafinha down there. Is he good as a winger? He's all right, you know. That's attacking winger. Get him down there. Thales Magno is our advanced playmaker. Actually going to put him on supporting role. Yeah. Link up the midfield. And we're just going to focus down here. I'm also going to put Bastoni on attack. We don't have Barisic. We've already made our 3 subs anyway. And it is what it is. We are going to put these on ball playing. Because I do want to try and retain some possession, if possible. I might even... Can I put him on cover? I'm going to put Osifo on cover. Nianzou is going to be just a standard. And we're also going to go attacking, because why the hell not, right? That was elaborate. That was long-winded. Is it going to pay off? Let's be honest, probably not. Fire up, maybe. I mean, that worked in terms of morale, but it's not worked in terms of chance creation. Chelsea have shut us out, and we've lost the game. It is what it is. It's really annoying when I go on this really good run of form. I mean, to be fair, in the last episode, you saw how good we were when we beat Man City and Inter. But then when we go and lose a game, it's like, if I wasn't recording, would I have lost that? Probably, but it's just frustrating because I was recording. So we are out. Oh, Pessina is set to sign for Atletico Madrid. So Pessina has gone to Atletico Madrid. I went away to have a look to see who I could replace him with, because if you look at his stats, he's pretty good in most, if not every area. One of the reasons why I bought him in the first place, he is a very well-rounded player. He is going to be incredibly difficult to replace with any degree of quality. He just didn't work. And I know he didn't have time, really. He played a handful of games for us, and I maybe was a little bit hasty, but time and time again, he kept bursting through the middle, didn't know what to do with it. He was wasting chances. He gave the ball away a couple of times, which resulted in goals. And it was really frustrating to see him play when I know he's capable of doing something so much better, which was one of the reasons why we bought him in the first place. He is one of those Moneyball signings that just didn't work. I looked at him in the league. His league form and the way that he was playing brought him in. It didn't work. If you look at his history, he played 16 times for us. He only scored 1 goal. He has played 1 game for Atletico Madrid. He has got 1 goal, 1 assist, and he was man of the match in his first game. Obviously just not suited to the Premier League, or obviously not suited to my system. Maybe they're playing him further forward, but he did have stints at attacking midfield within our setup as well. So why and how he didn't really perform, I don't know. Anyone's guess. We made a little bit on him. Bought him for 35, sold him for 40. There's no future add-on or fee or anything like that. It's just a straight up 40 million, and he's gone. We're in the middle of negotiating a contract. Well, he's accepted the contract. We're waiting on a work permit for Jeffrey Kondogbia. Not the best player in the world, granted. 30 years of age, can play as a central defensive midfield player or a central midfield player. Is costing us an initial 8 million up front. Of course, of that 40, we got to keep around 30, 33. So we're going to use 8 of it. We'll be left with around 25. It does say that it will potentially rise to 25.5. It's not going to rise even to 25.5 unless we win the Europa League and then they get 5 million. It will probably go to 20 million though. So it is what it is. My thought process behind this one, there were 2 options, right? So this is the position he's going to play. That's the role he's going to play. Is he better than Pessina? In my opinion, they're probably about the same. I think Pessina might be a little bit better here or there, but I think Kondogbia suits that box-to-box just slightly more. So we'll get a decision in 3 days' time. He's likely to be granted the work permit, but I think he's better at tackling than Pessina was. And he's got decent passing on him as well. His work rates could be a little bit higher, but 15 isn't bad. Good stamina, good strength, good balance, good bravery, good aggression. He's got slightly better finishing than Pessina, only by 1, but still, you never know. Dribbling is quite good. His first touch is good, but his long shots, that's one thing that we don't really have in this team, is a great long shot taker. So for a player in Kondogbia's position who gets forward and in and around the edge of that area, he could be invaluable. Very briefly, because this episode is going to get out of hand, it probably already has, to be fair. This is the team that is going to play against Leicester. It's not my first choice. I kind of have to do it. You can't see, but from Tim Krul down to the bottom, so we're talking James Milner, Barisic, Adedokan, Stanisic, Talis Magno, Caden Clark and Onuachu, every single one of them unavailable for today, either due to already being involved in other games, such as under-23 matches for fitness purposes. So Onuachu, Stanisic, Adedokan and Barisic wouldn't have played today anyway. They are involved in under-23 proceedings to try and get their fitness up. Talis Magno is away with Brazil right now. And yeah, James Milner is playing in the under-23s. Even though, because he's lacking a little bit of match sharpness. Really irritating that is sort of, it hasn't happened all season. I've got him set up to be doing that, but it is a little bit annoying because now it's left us short on the bench. I'm using 2 youth players, Les Joseph and Canderton, who aren't even like proper youth players because they're greyed out. I can never use them like permanently. But yeah, that's going to be the team. Gone with Rafinha as the central attacking midfield player, Maximovic and Rice in the midfield as it has been for the majority of the season. The 3 centre-backs remain the same. Livakovic, who's done fantastically, touch wood, I haven't just jinxed him, is in goal. And Barbu and Bastoni, who is getting a very long run in this team. Very tempted to play Maitland-Niles, but against a team like Leicester, I want my stronger side out there. The team we face then, Iheanacho up front, very nearly signed him in the summer. They also have Harvey Barnes, Jesse Lingard is there. Of course, we know that from the last time we played them. Canales, Pret, however you say that, Samare, Castagna, Soyuncu, Fofana, Justin, and Hugo Lloris in goal. Jamie Vardy is on the bench. Bear in mind, Jamie Vardy is around 49 years of age at this stage because it is 2024. Kasper Schmeichel's also on the bench, and they've also got Marcus Edwards, which is an interesting purchase. Decent little play. James Maddison is also on the bench as well, as Ricardo Pereira. A lot of big names on the Leicester bench today. We are 24 minutes in. This is the first highlight we've had, which is no surprise really. I knew it would be a cagey affair. The first game was quite cagey. They did have a little bit more of the play than they've had at the moment. We are the home team. We are pretty good at home. I hope I haven't just jinxed us, because that would be very unfortunate. Winning this game isn't like the most important thing in the world, but it is very important when it comes to just keep in touch with the top 4 over the bar. If we don't win, I think any hope we have, not that I have any really, but any hope that we have of finishing higher than 4th is gone. I'm not going to say title, because I don't think we're good enough to be able to do that, but if we want to finish, for Christ's sake, and Barbu. The only time we ever concede goals is either against Chelsea or penalties. There's no in between. Why are you even looking at it? It is a penalty. Never in my life have they gone, right, let's have a look to see if it's a penalty, and not given it. It always is. Livakovic saved a penalty against Crystal Palace 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And he's done it again. Livakovic is by far the best signing we have made. He is a marvel. What a player Livakovic is. If we don't win off the back of that penalty save now, I'll be a bit disappointed. A little bit upset, shall we say. Let's encourage the boys. Oh dear. We're not doing particularly well though. Leicester are, I wouldn't say a bit of a bogey team, because they are a good side. It's just one of those teams that very rarely beat. Spurs is another one. Iheanacho threw on goal. He looked a touch offside. He has scored. Referee doesn't want to know it's a goal. Iheanacho has put right his wrong by missing his penalty. Great. Oh, I mean, the fact that we've only lost 1 game all season, the fact that we've only conceded 10 goals, and to lose back-to-back could be the start of something really bad here, because we've talked about it before in previous... Let's have a look at this offside. Talked about it before... No, he's miles on. In previous videos, where if you have a couple of defeats, it's then very difficult to drag morale back up again. Morale is one massive thing in this game, and if the morale of the players is not quite where it should be, it can have a huge effect on everything, and it's so difficult to get it out of the gutter. But 2 defeats back to back, I'm hoping, because one of them is FA Cup, players rotated and such, that it doesn't affect morale that heavily, but it might. As we go into the half-time break 1-0 down, at this moment, I would take a 1-1 draw, because we have not been very good. We're not playing very well at all. It's one of those really weird moves we're going to do here. I've moved Rafinha out to the left. I've also put Bastoni, who is behind him, on attack duty. I'm going to try and exploit this left-hand side. I'll tell you why. As you can see, we've got focus down that left-hand side. I've had a look at their team. Justin is on a yellow. He's all right. He's not a bad player at all. He's not the best defensively. He is playing quite well, but he's on a yellow. If we can force everything down that side, it's just going to constantly cause him to have to make challenges. Surely, there has to come a time where he makes a mistake and he gets himself sent off. I'm not just playing for that red card. Rafinha is far more dangerous on a wing than he is in the middle or even as a striker. So if we can force play down this left-hand side, maybe force Justin to make a mistake, maybe we get in that way, maybe he gets himself sent off, who knows. Either way, it's a tactic that I'm going to try and employ, and we're going to see how successful it is in the first 10-15 minutes. If it's not, then I'm happy to look at it and try and change it again. It's just I don't have a decent right-sided player to be able to bring on. So, yeah, at the moment, we have more of the ball. We're just not doing anything with it. Right, so we are 20 minutes into the second half. We don't have a highlight. We don't have a red card. So it's time to go back to the drawing board and have a look at this again. Justin is still the only player that's been booked. If anything, he started to play better. How is Castagna playing? Castagna is not playing very well at all. Let's go over to the other side and try down here. It's just nothing seems to be going. Nothing's really working, so I don't really know what to do. Rather than just focus play down one wing, we're going to try this. Move Adiemi out to the right. We've got Rafinha still on the left. Nino will be our sole striker. Jorginho's come on for Maximovic. Maitland-Niles is going to come on from Barbu just to get some fresh legs in there. And because Mbabu was on a yellow, the two wide centre-backs are now on attack rather than support. And we've gone attacking in general. So let's see if that can do anything. Let's also see if we can fire them up a little bit, because we need to start creating chances or we're about to lose our second game of the season. It's just Leicester. We just can't. They're just impenetrable for whatever reason. Marcus Edwards is now on. Maddison as well. Boga down this left-hand side. Back into Canales. Going to be forced back towards Castagna. Here's Canales on the edge. Plays it into Marcus Edwards. And it's a good block. And we can get it clear with Maitland-Niles. But it's going to come straight back again. For whatever reason against Leicester, they just completely shut us down. And we just do not create anything. I'm not sure why. Good ball. And they should have scored. But I don't know why. I don't know how it happens. Any other team in the world and we give them a better game than this. I don't understand it. They have a corner with around a minute of normal time left, which is obviously not what you want. And they've scored. Another reason to be frustrated, annoyed almost, is we've just given away our 17-game unbeaten run. And I think it started with Leicester, I think. Wolves in September, and I think before that we lost to Leicester. Yep. So it started the game after we lost to Leicester, and it ended with Leicester. I don't know why Leicester seem to be the team I struggle to beat. Maybe I should manage them instead, but for whatever reason, I just cannot do it. So the league looks like this right now. So we're still in fourth, but we've just kind of given away third and above. I mean, we've still got a lot of time left, but we were one of those teams that were overachieving anyway. I mean, for the level of play that we have, we probably should be in 8th, trying to push Europa League or Conference rather than push Champions League. But we still have a game in hand. If we can win it, we go 48 points, which means we go 6 points clear of Spurs, which is still a very, very strong position to be in. We just need to make sure now that the last 2 games we've played don't have a massive impact on morale and we can actually go and sort of turn it around a little bit. So for the next episode, we will come back. I think what I'll do is come back. I don't want to come back too soon because I don't want these seasons to drag on. If anything happens on deadline day, we will come back for it. I'll record it separately. But I think we'll completely skip February, even though we have Arsenal, which is a big game, and Man United, because what I want to do is come back for European football. So we'll come back for either Watford and whoever we get in that draw, or we'll come back for the first leg and then we'll play Villa. Either one. We'll see how it goes. But fingers crossed that Leicester game and, of course, that Chelsea game didn't have too bad of an effect on us. We can turn it around and start putting some good results together. Fortunately, we do have 2 teams who are struggling up next. Wolves in 13th and Bournemouth, who are rock bottom of the league. That has 1-0 Bournemouth written all over it. You'll also see whether we sign Jeffrey Kondogbia as well and anything else that happens. So if you have enjoyed that, do me a favour and hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel for new, and until the next time, goodbye.